Welcome back to Travel and Bourbon, and this is our second stop in our Grand Circle vacation through Utah and Arizona. This stop is Zion National Park, which was originally named a national monument back in 1909. It gained national park status in 1919, and it is located just north of the town of Springdale in Utah. Visiting Zion National Park has some unique challenges. Due to the popularity of hikes like the Narrows and Angel's Landing, the park is extremely busy. It boasts over 5 million people visiting the park each year. This, paired with many of the attractions being located in a very narrow sandstone canyon, makes the park feel very crowded. Due to the crowding, the National Park Service has a shuttle system for guests during peak times. You can get into the park and ride shuttles for free, and there are several stops at all the major locations. Passenger cars are not permitted on the Canyon Drive, and guests must use these shuttles or bike or hike into the park. We left Bryce Canyon early and had e-bikes reserved at a place called Outta Here E-Bikes in Springdale. A great operation, family run, and they were actually one of the first e-bike rental places in Zion National Park. Riding an e-bike down the canyon is a very awesome experience and a great way to see the park. The open air experience lets you see these grand vistas and allowing you to take it at a leisurely pace as you bike in. We were afraid that we would run out of battery going all the way to the end of the park and coming back, but that was not an issue. We rented 3 e-bikes, and my youngest daughter actually rode on the back of my e-bike, and it was really a highlight of being in the park is that first day before we checked into the lodge, just cruising around the park on the e-bikes. The rules with e-bikes and shuttles is a shuttle will not pass an e-bike, but when a shuttle comes up behind you, you need to pull off to the side and put 1 foot down. And when the driver of the shuttle bus sees that, then they will pass you. And that's great for all of the national park shuttle buses that have this rule, but there are also charter buses and a few residential cars for people staying in the lodge that maybe follow that rule and maybe don't follow that rule, but it's safe. There aren't that many vehicles on the road. The Virgin River is a great place to stop and cool off during the heat of the day. And while this river is very crowded and busy in the narrow section of the park, it is not hard to find a place where you can just splash around and have fun. The Zion Lodge is located about midway through the canyon. It has a beautiful lawn with this huge tree. Throughout the day, you will see people relaxing in its shade or sitting in the rocking chairs in front of the lodge enjoying some ice cream. The original lodge was destroyed in a fire, but this lodge was rebuilt in its same location. They have rooms that host ranger talks. There's places to eat. There is a pretty nice gift shop as well. The lodging for the park is right next to the lodge, and it consists of some cabins and then some motel-like rooms. We stayed in one of the motel rooms in the first floor. It had a great view of the little courtyard area, and it was a great relaxing place to stay with just some spectacular views, and even a place to sip some bourbon on a front porch. Every evening and morning, the deer will come down from the canyons and will graze on the grass in the lawn. And it's really kind of a cool thing to see. They just sort of walk amongst the families that are relaxing or playing ball And for the most part, if you leave them alone, they leave you alone, but it's nice to see the wildlife interacting. As I stated before, one of the big benefits of staying at the lodge is you do get driving rights down the canyon. They will send you in the mail a parking pass and then also the gate keys so that you can actually drive down the canyon driveway. There's not a lot of parking, so basically you can drive to either the historical center and park, or you can drive down to the lodge and park, but those are pretty much your only two options. But it is nice to be able to have a car that you can get around in the park with. There are eating options in the park, but the food is just okay, your normal national park vendor kind of food. But Springdale is just a short drive away and has a lot of offerings. Our favorite one was probably this place called Zion Pizza and Noodle Company. My oldest daughter and I did win the lottery to hike Angel's Landing, and this is something that is a part of the peak season. You cannot just hike Angel's Landing, you have to apply for a permit, and they give them out kind of sparingly. There are permits that you can get in advance, and there's also a daily lottery if you just show up. We got the less ideal time where you're supposed to hike after 9 a.m. The chain section of Angel's Landing can get very hot, and the park can be very hot by that time. We cheated a little bit. You're supposed to start after 9 a.m. from the grotto, but they don't check your permits until you get up to Scout's Lookout. So we actually started hiking the trail well before 9 a.m., but I'm sort of a slow hiker on the incline, so by the time we got to the top, we were kind of right in the time we were supposed to be there. They do check permits at the top, and then you go on the much shorter part of the hike, which is from Scout's Lookout to Angel's Landing, which is only like a half a mile, I think. The trail starts at the Grotto bus stop and climbs to the top of the west rim, a total of 1,500 feet of elevation gain, and all of that's pretty quick right away. The most famous part, known as the chain section, is only a fraction of the hike. There are a lot of videos that cover this hike, so I'm not going to go into detail. We did only make it about halfway past Scout's Lookout when my daughter was feeling shaky, so we turned around, which I was completely fine with. I definitely just wanted us to be safe and did not want to push anybody past their comfort. And that is my recommendation for people doing this hike as well. It's a lovely hike. It's not for everyone, and if you don't feel safe, it is totally okay to turn around. While the canyon, it gets most of the attention at Zion, there is a lot more to see. Checkerboard Mesa, lots of other places. Just driving through the Mount Carmel Tunnel is a great adventure. That's an awesome road. The tunnel is a mile long, and work started in 1927 and was completed in 1930. And it was the longest non-urban tunnel when it was built. Just past the Mount Carmel Tunnel is another must-hike trail, in my opinion, and that is the Canyon Overlook Trail. It is located just past the Mount Carmel Tunnel. It is about a mile out and back and offers some great views, but there are some steps, about 200 feet in elevation gain in a very short amount of time. But it's a great way to sort of see the canyon for the first time, or in our case, wave to it goodbye on our way out of the park. We spent 2 nights in Zion. It's still one of my family's favorite places to be. I say it is my favorite park from about 7 p.m. to about 7 a.m. In the middle of the day, it gets very crowded and it just loses some of its allure for me. But it is absolutely breathtaking. So if you get a chance, go and see it. After Zion, we made our way to Kanab to restock as we head to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We stopped at Honey's Market, which is a very friendly grocery store, and we had a picnic in a local park, which was quite awesome. Thanks for watching this one, and be on the lookout for the next installment, which will actually be at the north rim of the Grand Canyon, which is one of my favorite national parks.